What's up, Precision Junkies? I want to start today's video by giving a big shout out to all of you who have subscribed, liked, commented, all of the above. We recently hit our 1,000 subscriber mark. In fact, we're a little over that now. I think we're up to about 1,025. So thank you guys so much. You know, we put a lot of time and effort into these videos, and it means a lot to me that you guys take the time to watch them, leave comments. We've had a lot of positive feedback, and just want to give you guys 2 thumbs up. Really appreciate all you've done for us. So with that 1,000 subscribers, we're really motivated to keep bringing you new content. We've got some cool stuff in the works with, you know, some different ways of getting footage and some microphones and getting a GoPro involved. So hopefully we're gonna kind of up the ante on our level of production on these videos in the future. So lots to look forward to in that department. For today's video specifically, we're going to do another bow review. So I've had a few requests now on doing reviews on some of the PSE bows, and so thought I'd start with their flagship bow this year, which is it's in the Evolve series. It's called the PSE Evoke 31. So I've got it right here. You know, first impressions when I grabbed this bow was that it was really well balanced. It's a 31-inch axle to axle. It's got a 6-inch brace height, come in right at about 4.2 pounds. What's cool about this is you can get a 50, 60, 65, 70, or 80-pound limb option on this. So a lot of adjustment, or not adjustment, but a lot of options in limb weight here. It's got a really nice handle on it here. Really thin tournament style grip. I actually, you know, this is the kind of grip that I prefer to shoot. There's no modular system on it, so it's not like a Matthews or a Hoyt where the grip actually comes on and off. The grip is just built directly into the riser on this bow. Comes in at 342 feet a second IBO, so no slouch on speed. And then this Evolve cam system is really cool because it gives you the option. It's got a rotating module, so this one will go from 24.5 all the way to 30. And then with this little knob here, I can adjust this little piece back and forth by loosening that screw, and I can go between an 80 and a 90% let off on this bow, which is by far the highest let off of any company out there. So for guys that, you know, want to shoot low weight, maybe you got a bad shoulder or something, this bow is going to be really easy for you to hold. I don't know of any other companies where you can adjust the let off just in with this little piece right here. A lot of them have a different module that you can put on to adjust the let off, but this is actually just done on the existing module. So that's a really cool piece of technology there. You know, PSEs in the early 2000s, I'm not gonna lie, they got pretty obsessed with the speed game, and the whole X-Force and Omen series of bows, they achieved really high speeds, but they were not real pleasurable to shoot. They pulled really stiff. They had short brace heights. They had no valley in them. If you let up at all on that back tension, that cam just wanted to jump. And you know, they were pretty finicky tuning. You had to shoot a really heavy, stiff arrow with them because they put so much energy into that arrow right out of the gate. Caused a lot of flex. And you know, they were still a good shooting bow. They were a finicky bow. They weren't an easy to shoot bow. I will say that they have completely reversed engineering on this in terms of what they're trying to accomplish. So with this Evolve series, you know, last year they've got the Carbon Stealth Air, the Evolve 31 and 35. This is the Evoke 31, which is kind of building on last year's Evolve 31. What they were really going for here is a really shootable bow. So this bow draws extremely easy. As I said, it's got the adjustable let off, which is really nice. You've got I don't know if it's a true binary cam system, but they split the yokes here, kind of like how they do on a Matthews, but there's no actual yokes on the outside of this. So when you're tuning, you're gonna tune it more like a Matthews where you've got the spacers or shims in the cam here. And based on what my tear is doing, I can swap those spacers and actually push this whole harness right or left. You know, one nice thing with the yoke being split on the inside like this is that if I do get a little bit of stretch in my cables, it's not going to affect the timing or the lean of the cam nearly as much as a true, you know, dual yoke harness will. So it's a bow that's easy to tune. It stays in tune, which is probably even more important. and it's just, from a bow technician standpoint, it's really easy to work on. A couple other features that I really like is they've got kind of a different roller guard here. So they've still got the slide, so this still moves on the cable slide here, but it has roller guards rather than just the standard like Teflon cable guard. And what's nice about that is that it limits the amount of wear on your serving and the cables themselves here. So you get a little more life out of your strings overall, and it's just a really smooth system. I can also change the angle of, try and get that focused here. So right here, I can loosen those screws and I can bring this cable guard a little further in or a little further out, which you can also play with to get a better tune. So you want to make sure that you're still clearing the cables with your vanes, but you can get, based on what your tear is doing, let's say you've already got both cams shimmed over one direction and you're still tearing a little bit right, I can bring this cable guard in or out a little bit and influence that tear a little bit. So lots of options when it comes to tuning this. They've got a great limb pocket system. This is the wedge lock limb pocket system. Really, really solid. All machined aluminum here. Very little movement, or very little play in the limb pocket. I'd say, behind Hoyt, that's probably one of the better limb pocket systems that I've seen. And overall, I personally think it's just a good looking bow. This is in the Cryptek camo. Comes in a number of different camouflages. If you go on their website, you can kind of mix and match. So whatever your taste is, they should have one that'll work for you. So shooting wise, when I shot this, I really like the way the bow draws. It's got a really easy draw force curve. It doesn't stack really hard and then all dump at the end. Obviously with the 90% let off, you are going to feel a little bit of a clunk when it gets back there, just because it's letting off so much weight so rapidly. But it's got a really solid back wall, which I really like. I don't like a lot of sponge there because I shoot with quite a bit of back tension. And if I got a lot of sponge, I may be pulling that string a little bit further on one shot versus another, just based on having that little bit of play. So it's got a really good back wall. You've got your string stopper here to help keep that quiet. It is a quiet bow. It's not going to be as quiet as like your Matthews Verdicts, but I'd say it's probably a little quieter than the Hoyt and a little louder than the Matthews. They've got little dampeners here in the riser, which is just a nice little feature, just something to kind of keep the vibration down. You've also got the rear mount for your rear bars on your stabilizer down low here. So they're taking kind of a page out of like the Target bow book. So you can get that rear bar low on your riser and keep that center of gravity real low. Kind of like Hoyt and Matthews, they've got a true center pull. So the grip is actually slightly offset from the true center so that the arrow is pulling through the middle of the string and riser. So when you're setting this up, kind of like almost every other bow, we always start with just running that arrow right through the burger hole right there. And as long as the bow is timed well, we have very little issue with any knock high or knock low. So that tells me that there's very little knock travel in this cam system. So it's a really cool bow by PSE overall. I'm really impressed the last couple of years with what they've done. I actually shot PSE for a number of years when I was younger, and then when they kind of started getting obsessed with that speed game, I went away from them for a while. But I've been really impressed with the way these new bows shoot. They do make this in a 35-inch model. It's got a little longer brace height. It's about 7 feet a second slower. And that seems to be kind of the trend these days. Lots of these companies are coming out with a shorter and longer version of the same bow, basically. So it kind of meets the needs for every archer out there. I'm gonna do a test with this, kind of how we always do. I'm just gonna do it by the numbers. We sold our left-handed model like 2 days ago, and this is actually right-handed. So again, I'm gonna look kind of stupid drawing it, but we're gonna do this by the numbers. I'm gonna set it at 29 inches. I've got a 500 grain arrow, a 445 grain arrow, a 420 grain arrow, and then like a 365 grain arrow. So kind of a full gamut of arrow weights and ranges there. So I'm gonna go get the chronograph set up, grab my arrows, and we'll see what this baby can do. All right, so I'm at the chronograph here. Pardon the echo, we're out here on the range and it's a little echoey. But the first arrow I'm gonna shoot is a 502 grain Axis 300. Again, this bow right now is set at, it's actually coming in right at 70.5 pounds. I just maxed it out, and I'm gonna shoot it at 29 inches. And remember, I'm drawing this right-handed and it's short, so I'm gonna look like a goober, but don't hold it against me. So, let's get the chronograph on here. There we go. All right. So 502 grains, 70.5 pounds, 29 inches. Draws really smooth. I mean, for 70 pounds right-handed for me, that draws really, really nicely. 270. That's about what I expected from it. Next arrow is going to be coming in. This arrow weighs 445 grains. This is a gold tip 300 as well. It's just cut really long. So this is going to be 445 grains. And that let off is just so nice. I mean, it's just, feels so good. .282, so pretty substantial jump there. 29 inches, 282, you know, that's right on par with a lot of these other bows that are right around that 340 to 345 IBO. So far it's, you know, it's been pretty efficient with those heavier arrows. This is an Axis 340. This one's coming in right at 417. So, you know, fairly light, but still a pretty common weight. Right at 300, 299 to be exact, but that's ripping. Now, I will say on this, there's no vibration at all in the shot. There's a slight hand shock. It's almost more like it's right at the very end. I almost feel like it's after the arrow's gone. It just feels like somebody's really lightly just kind of flicking your palm, but it's not bad by any means. In fact, just, you know, I noticed it on the first shot, but that's because I've been shooting my Traverse, which has like no vibration. But on that one, I didn't even really notice it. So this is a 360 grain arrow. This is a gold tip 400 with just a 100 grain point, so it's really light. 319. So that's at 29 inches. So we're well under, we're an entire inch under what the IBO specs are at. Those are really, really good speeds. If you're wondering, you know, if you're a little bit shorter or a little bit longer in your draw length, generally speaking, for every inch of draw length, I've noticed about a 12 foot a second difference. So if you're at 28, subtract 12 from a lot of those numbers. If you're at 30, add 10 to 12 to all those numbers. So I'm really, really impressed with that bow. That was at the 90% let off. Now there will not be any speed change going to the 80% let off. All it's gonna do is increase your holding weight at full draw. So even if I was shooting this at 80% or at the, you know, the 85 mark there, I'm not gonna get any speed change. It's just at full draw, I'm gonna be holding more weight. So if you haven't got a chance to shoot one of these, I would highly recommend getting down to your dealer and shooting one of these. As I said, they make this in a 35 inch, which will go all the way out to a 31.5 inch draw length. So for you long draw guys who want a little longer axle to axle, they do make an option for this. You know, some other thoughts on it, I think this bow holds really well. When I got to shoot the left-handed one, I really liked the way it aimed. Again, that's a personal opinion. Not everybody's gonna feel the same way. That's just what I noticed. So I'm really impressed by this. Like I said, either come down to the shop here in Springfield and try one out, or go by your local PSE dealer and give one a try. As always, thank you for watching. Feel free to comment below. Again, thank you to all of you who gave us the boost we needed to get to 1,000 subscribers. We've had a lot of positive feedback, and we're just so thankful that you guys take the time to watch us. So until next time, keep it in the middle, and remember, precision is a decision.